Hi everyone, you're watching VGO40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we are taking a look at the Lost Forest Dungeon in adventure mode. And this was just released today, so we're all running it through kind of for the first time and getting a feel for the mechanics. It's a dark dungeon, so I had to look at the map a lot to figure out where I was going. But we're going to go ahead and it just takes a long time to kill these guys, and I think it's because we're all just starting out, and once we all get the gear it'll be faster. But go ahead and just kill all the mobs on the way to the first boss. There's nothing super special about the mobs, just kind of follow the map and go to the first boss. Now I skipped a lot of the mobs just because it's not worth fast forwarding through. It's so darn dark in this dungeon, at least the first 2/3 of it. So here we are at the first boss, and there's nothing totally remarkable about this boss except for one little mechanic. First of all, just kill it, do DPS, and avoid the AoE attacks. That's the first thing. It's going to take a long time. He's really slow to get down. But you'll notice that there's a purple bar. This is common for the first two bosses. The purple bar in the bottom, or actually maybe the third boss in the first one. The purple bar on the bottom, when it gets to full, it's going to do a mechanic where it heals the boss. And there's going to be these green lines that come out from this tree. And I'm actually a little too close to the tree, and towards the end of the fight I move the boss further away because he's getting healed by these orbs that are blocked. So here we are getting, it says block the alignment. So you'll see these green lines come out from the side here. You need to have somebody stand in each one of these, and it blocks those green circles that come out. But some of them seem to be more of like an AoE heal for the boss, so he still is getting healed a bit. So you really need to pull him further away if you're the tank, just so that he's not so close so he gets done by those AoE heals. Okay, the fight is ridiculously long, so I'm going to skip a lot of it. I'm going to fast forward just so you can see that there's some AoEs. The AoEs get more complex as it goes on, and you can see, I don't know if you can see here, but I moved the boss further over, so these alignment lines are much longer, and there's 3 of them. If you're a tank and you move too close to the tree where they start, the boss is going to follow you and he'll get healed. So DPS, I think, and the healer needs to stand a little closer to the tree so that you don't end up with the boss getting healed by these AoE heals that are going on. So anyway, that's it for this boss. Just dodge and block these orbs that come from these green lines, and you should be all set with that. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the second boss. All right, there's a lot of mobs in front of where the second boss is. We cleared them all. I'm not 100% sure you need to clear them all, but definitely clear all the ones in the 2 lines leading up to the boss. And again, this one's a really dark area. So with this boss, again, you're just going to kind of dodge the AoEs. There's some interrupt spells that I saw. There's one where the DPS, I assume it's just the DPS, it could have been the healers, but probably just the DPS, gets tagged with this red text above their head where they have to stay away from the group and they have to move far. The further back they move, the less damage the group will take when see, and you can see the red text there. So the further back they go, the less damage the group takes. So you want to move pretty far back, which is why you want to clear all those mobs out there. So that's it for that part. When this bar, again, all 3 of them I guess have this purple bar kind of towards the bottom left a little. When that bar gets to 100, the boss starts doing special attacks, which are just these like dodging these like shadowy guys attacks. And right after that, it seemed there was an ad that spawned. Definitely take that to the tank and kill the ad. And then just, again, keep going from there. Okay, so here you can see some of those weird purple stripes with kind of these ghost-like ads going through them. All you're really going to do is avoid them, and you should be good. the boss does seem to stun a little bit. These circles, I think that the DPS was having problems, and it might have been because they were all standing too close to each other, because one of them was complaining that he got stunned a lot. So I think that probably if you're not standing right on top of each other behind the boss, you won't get that everyone stunned, because he seems to target one person. Because I got stunned a few times, but because I was by myself on the other side of the boss, it was only me that got stunned. And here you can also see this ad right next to him that we're going to need to make sure to target as a tank and taunt him. And DPS, you can go ahead and kill the ad as well. So that's pretty much it for the boss. You just, the long range guy, if you get targeted with a red text, just move back. Watch that purple bar for the AoE attacks. That yellow circle seems to be a stun. And other than that, interrupt is really important with those 1,000 needle things. And when I moved too far back from the boss to pull him off the stairs, I got ported back up onto the stairs. So I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe we have to stay on the stairs. So that's it for this boss. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest of it. Okay, this was so long. I feel like I really need to skip past some of this stuff. So here, just go ahead and run down to the next set of mobs and go ahead and start. It's a little confusing. I had to look at the map a few times to figure out where I was going. But go ahead and run down to the next set of mobs and just keep clearing all the way to the third boss. Okay, so here's boss 3. Now, boss 3 at least is a little brighter than the other ones. So there's 2 bosses actually for boss 3. There's a little fairy that's kind of between his feet, and there's the big tree guy. Tanks, make sure you taunt both of them so you have aggro for both of them. The thing about this is, okay, so there's a couple things. There's a lot going on. So here it says, I'm hit by bursting energy. Keep moving. So keep moving around. Don't stop. Just move around a lot when you get that message. So with the 2 bosses, they both have to die at the same time. So you have to some groups found it better to have a voice chat on so you could tell when people are there. Here's the other message. I'm dying slow. I'm dying stay still. Basically, when you get the yellow text, stop moving until it goes away. They both have to die at the same time. So some people found it helpful to call out the health as you were going. The other people, I found it just as easy to toggle between the 2. We didn't call anything out. We just were aware that they both had to die at the same time, so we just toggled back and forth between the 2. Now, so you just saw the AoE attack. That's really, as far as I remember, the only AoE attack that he does. You just have to go away from him and then close. Now, just like some of the other dungeons, if you see behind them, there's 2 groups of yellow circles where you have to share the damage. One has green text and one has yellow. So just match the green together, match the yellow together. Also, you have this purple bar kind of again at the lower left-hand corner that's for all of these bosses. So here we're staying still. But when this bar gets to 100%, there's a stone next to you that you have to hide behind. If you don't hide behind it, you die. So what I did was when it got to about like 95% or something like that, I just moved behind the stone. You can see somebody else was already back here doing their DPS thing. It made it easier just to be back there. That way you weren't going to be killed when the time came. So just watch out for that as well. And that's honestly, I'm going to say that's it for the fight. Those are the mechanics right there. It's just a repeat of the same thing. You're going to want to make sure you look at the messages above your head, whether you stay still or move. You're going to want to avoid this AoE damage here. And here it says you have to keep moving. Now, I'm not sure if I got a good shot of this, but again, there's this one section where you're going to get one DPS person, or maybe healer 2, gets a green text above their head where they have to move away from the group. And you have to move far back from them, otherwise you're going to get hit by the damage. So here's again this section where you have to match green to green, yellow to yellow for the AoE attacks, or for those sheer damage things. But just make sure also that, if you get that longer message over your head where it says to move back from the group, do that also. So lots of mechanics, but honestly, I think a lot of it they just put in there so that if you're a bot, you're going to die. So I think they try to keep the bots from doing these dungeons. Okay, so again, we're going to skip through some of this. And just so you're aware, again, we're almost at that 100% purple bar, so you're going to need to stand behind the stone again to avoid the damage. And I keep toggling back and forth between the two mobs. I don't know if you notice it up above. I'm just keeping an eye on both health. And both of them here die at pretty much the exact same time because we get them both to about 1% at the same time. So, and then that's it for the boss. So you're watching VGO 40, and this is VGO Girl, and we will see you soon in World of Kings.